So back in 2019, we were invited to do the new branding for the Design Thinkers Conference that would happen in 2021. And we were really excited about this. We love how Design Thinkers is always a new brand, always a new experience. We were really happy to sign on and participate in that. We were trying to set up the project, get ourselves organized, and then COVID hit, which changed everything. We all went home, sheltered in place, and weathered the storm to see what would happen next.
When we started working on this project, there were a lot of things happening in the world at the same time. I think like a lot of other design studios, we had to adapt to a new reality because of COVID, and we had to start working from home and figure out how to do that properly. And then on the other hand, I think the design industry also started to come to terms with the fact that we needed to address issues around representation and equality. And I think both those things really informed where the visual identity kind of took us. When we started to ideate around what the visual identity for Design Thinkers 2021 could look like, it was really important for us to create something that addressed the issues of the time and that felt relevant. What is valuable and appropriate discourse in the design community in this time of change?
So we did work through a few different ideas, but felt it was really impossible to ignore the context that we were living in and what was actually happening. Things were changing around us, and things should change around us, and it really felt important to acknowledge that, you know, some of the ways that we've been working, some of the tools that we've been using as designers were probably not going to be the tools that we needed to use moving forward. So this felt like the idea that we needed to kind of circle around and get to the heart of. We started thinking about this idea of rethinking and decided, well, why don't we rename the conference instead of Design Thinkers to this idea of Design Rethinkers, and started riffing on different ideas about changing the way we thought about what we were doing. So rethink, reshape, redo, and started to extend that into other language as well. So adding a kind of suffix that would just change the whole word. So upend, co-create, different words like that started to get to the idea of a kind of broad rethinking of how we were accomplishing things. We wanted to make sure that the conference felt engaging and it was eye-catching and welcoming, and that it would be a positive moment for people to come together and start to reconsider, rethink the way we do design.
What was designed as a return to a sort of celebration of in-person events ended up going all digital after all. So we kind of had to adapt our visual system to this new digital reality for the conference. What we found was that our core idea and the sort of inspiration that we took from that idea of change and sort of pursuit of better ways of working actually made it very easy for us to adapt that system into a digital environment, as a very physical idea of using a sticker to change some of these concepts or some of these ideas in the copywriting that we used actually felt quite topical. So other visual elements in the identity, whether it's kind of the halftone imagery that we use or infusing some color, are really meant to signal that sense of collaboration and that kind of do-it-yourself aesthetic that comes with it. Really helps us kind of express that continued pursuit of trying to better our industry and trying to better our work and working on ways to do things in a different way.
You know, what was really important in this, especially in 2021, were digital assets and making sure that we were being able to communicate with everybody in an engaging way as possible on things like social media and email and that kind of thing. And I really love some of the work that we did around our social posts, because they're really still, you know, bouncy, eye-catching, but they've got these kind of little nuggets of ideas.
I think some of my favorite applications of the work that we did are actually, ironically, some of the things that never materialized. So some of the bigger banners that we created for the conference hall where it would initially have been held, because I think they really did a good job of expressing some of the energy, and it just makes me really excited looking at them now to eventually go back to an in-person event.
We knew the conference would start people thinking, would be inspirational, and we were hoping that the branding would start that process even before people arrived to the conference.